For most of the 21st century, we literally led the world by a significant margin in the investments we invested in our own people, Not only our roads, our highways, our bridges, but on our people and on our families. And we didn't just build the interstate highway system and invest to win the space race. We also were among the first to provide access to free education beginning back at the turn of the 20th century. It was a distinction and a decision to invest in our children and our families, and it's a major reason why we were able to lead the world in the 21st century. We're one of the few nations in the world at universal for everyone, beginning in what was then first grade. But somehow along the way, we sort of stopped investing in our people. Our infrastructure has fallen from the best in the world. According to the World Economic Forum, our infrastructure ranks 13th in the world. Roads, bridges, highway, a whole range of things. But just as important as the Organization of Economic Opportunity and Cooperation now ranks America 35 out of 37 major countries when it comes to investing in early childhood education and care. Say another way, the world's catching up and beginning to pass us. Jill has, my community college, Dr. Biden has an expression she's used for real. Any country that educates us will outcompete us. Any country that educates us will outcompete us. We cannot be competitive. That's why I propose two critical pieces of legislation being debated in Washington. They're both bills. They're not about left versus right. They're not about moderate versus progressive, or anything else that pits one American against another. These bills, in my view, are literally about competitiveness versus complacency, about opportunity versus decay, about leading the world or continue to let the world move by us. Folks, a lot of folks know what's at stake in the infrastructure bill. It's about rebuilding the arteries of putting people to work in good paying jobs. The estimates from Wall Street would create up to 16 million new jobs over time. Good paying jobs, union jobs. Not $5 an hour, $7, 15, but $40, $50 an hour, prevailing wage. You can raise a family on. You can live with some dignity and pride. Bringing our roads and bridges up to speed, replacing lead water pipes.
Everybody, President Biden just officially signed a bill raising the United States debt limit. And also, more spending bills can be passed to help the American people recover from this crisis. We have a ton of news to go over about the fourth stimulus check update, so thank you so much for being here. Now let's get into the most important news first. Everybody, I want to see the Democrats and Republicans finally agree on sending out more stimulus payments. I personally think they're taking way too long to send out the checks. And if you believe that Congress must do a better job of issuing stimulus payments, then let's get this video to 1,000 likes. So President Biden signed into law a bill raising the nation's debt limits until early December, delaying the prospect of an unprecedented federal default that would cause economic disaster. The House passed the $480 billion increase in the country's borrowing ceiling on Tuesday. That's after the Senate approved it on a party line vote. The eventual approval came after a protracted standoff with Senate Republicans, who derailed initial Democratic efforts with filibusters, delays that require 60 votes to halt. Ultimately, a handful of Senate Republicans agreed to join Democrats and voted to end GOP delays and move to a final vote on the legislation. But the Minority Leader Mitch McConnell has said Republicans will offer no support for another increase in December. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has also warned that the United States would hit its borrowing limit, an unprecedented situation that she and others cautioned could lead to economic catastrophe for a nation that's still reeling from a global. So routine government payments to Social Security beneficiaries, disabled veterans, and active duty military personnel would potentially be delayed, and the economic fallout in the United States could ripple throughout global markets. The passage of the short-term debt ceiling increase ensures that for now, the United States will continue to meet its obligations, but it sets up another potential cliff at the end of the year, at a time when lawmakers will also be working to pass a federal funding bill to avert a government shutdown. Republicans have said Democrats should use a budgetary maneuver to pass an increase in the debt limit without Republican support, like the process Democrats are using for Biden's massive climate change and social safety net plan. But Democrats have resisted the option. The clash between the two parties leaves Congress without a clear solution to avert the next default deadline in December. But the White House has emphasized it's still pursuing a bipartisan increase. Plus, lawmakers from both parties have used debt ceiling votes as leverage for other priorities. Nancy Pelosi threatened to vote against raising debt ceiling when the former president was in office, and as Congress wrangles over many proposals with a Build Back Better agenda, one section holds the promise of addressing the angst among millions of American workers, retirees, and their families. One provision of that bill, passed by the two House committees, would require businesses with 5 or more employees to offer a workplace retirement program.
That have been in this fight for justice, in this fight for establishing true safety for our communities.
Hello everybody, happy Saturday and hope all of you are having a great day so far. How's your day been? Tell me in the comments. So in this video, we'll be going over the latest news surrounding a fourth stimulus check. And of course, a $200 increase in your Social Security benefits. Yes folks, it looks like Congress is finally taking action to help every single American out. And I can't wait for this stimulus bill to be signed into law. So guys, be sure to stay until the end of this video to never miss out on all of the very important stimulus news. The whole goal of this channel is to provide you with the most up-to-date and reliable stimulus check information. Because we all know that a fourth stimulus check must be passed, right? And if you agree with me, then let's get this video to 1,000 likes. So folks, a 6th batch of $1,400 stimulus payments were just sent out by the IRS. And this is wonderful news for all of you that have yet to receive a 3rd stimulus payment. I know that many of you guys are still missing your 3rd stimulus money. And I completely understand how you all have been feeling these past few weeks. The IRS did not have any new updates or informations. For the Americans, they have not gotten a stimulus check from the latest batch. But everybody, just today, the IRS sent out another round of stimulus payments. And according to CNBC, more than $379 billion have been sent to Americans through direct payments since distribution began in March. We get a $1,000 stimulus check every single month until the crisis is over, and should your Social Security benefits be increased by $200 per month. If you believe so, then let's get this video to 1,000 likes. So folks, Joe Biden will make a speech to Congress this week to outline his American Families Plan. According to White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki, the plan is expected to focus on policies, including paid family leave and community college. Jen Psaki also reiterated Joe Biden's pledge not to raise taxes on anyone making less than $400,000 a year. For now everybody, the White House isn't giving any specifics on the 4th stimulus bill, but details have started to leak out about what Biden is aiming to be the second part of his infrastructure plan. The Washington Post has reported that childcare will be one of the largest efforts in the plan. Funding could be roughly $225 billion for this priority. Paid family leave is another key component of Biden's American Rescue Plan, everybody. In addition, guys, Joe Biden has stated he wants 12 weeks of paid family and medical leave. And this could reportedly cost around $225 billion. Everybody, do you support a 4th stimulus check? If you do, then leave a comment down below saying, I agree.
I'm here today to talk about what's fundamentally at stake right now, in my view, for the families, not only of Connecticut, because you're ahead of the curve in some of what you've done on your own, but for a long time, America set the pace across the globe. For most of the 21st century, we literally led the world by a significant margin in the investments we invested in our own people, Not only our roads, our highways, our bridges, but on our people and on our families. And we didn't just build the interstate highway.